Hey girls, happy Monday. Today we are going to be moving forward from our discussion with the Industrial Revolution. We know that systems like the cottage system, they worked for a while before Great Britain had began to industrialize and create factories. We saw that rather than work taking place in the home, we saw that work began taking place in factories. Um, Technology starts to advance, and um, we're going to see that the Industrial Revolution was great because um, people could produce more goods in a small amount of time using less labor. However, we're going to also see some drawbacks, and some of these drawbacks are the increase of child labor, poor working conditions, um, unfair wages, and things like that. So pretty much that was an effect or a result of the Industrial Revolution, because not only did the Industrial Revolution have impacted the amount of goods and the amount of money in a country, but it also has a social impact, right? So we're going to see you know let's see here. All right, industrial industrial revolution, right? Some good things. We have factories, inventions that make production faster. We have new waterways, right? People are building canals so that they can trade and be more interconnected. Um, you know, we're going to see that in other countries, people are starting to create more goods at a low cost, more efficiently, right? People are becoming better at their jobs because now not everyone works on the farm. People are working in factories, and they're learning new trades and new skills. This is great. Um, but obviously, like I said, there are some drawbacks. Like I said, child labor. But Great Britain was at an advantage because they had natural resources. Um, you should know that with demand and with capital, okay, um, basically beginning back with like the slave trade, right? Businesses helped accumulate capital. You should know that capital is money used for investments. Right? If you guys have ever watched Shark Tank, you would know, capital is money that's used to invest in an enterprise. Um, Basically, an enterprise is just, a business organization um, in like a specific field, like in an area such as shipping, uh, factories, what have you. Okay, many businessmen are willing to risk their money, their capital, to invest here and to build here because they think that in the long run, this business or this enterprise will make them more money. An entrepreneur is somebody who um, creates their own business. Um, and we're going to see different advances like the cotton gin that was created by Eli Whitney, which helps create to separate cotton faster, right? And this is going to increase the slave trade as well. Okay, we're going to start seeing the development of turnpikes and whatnot. Okay, so these are just some points of the Industrial Revolution. We see that the Industrial Revolution also has a social impact. Okay, like for example, um, urbanization. Okay, this is when um, people are coming to cities for work in factories and what have you. And that's why we see so many people come to the cities to get jobs. Okay? That was a major, major trend. Um, People are moving to cities. Um, More and more people want to work, and as people move into the cities, we need more people to man the farms. We're going to see an increase in immigration, and we're also going to see the emergence of the middle class. Um, it's not just the super rich anymore. and the peasants, right? It's not like that anymore. We're going to see the middle class, people who can provide for themselves and their family, but they're not necessarily rich. Okay, the industrial middle class is also known as the bourgeoisie. I spelled that wrong. Is also known as the bourgeoisie. Okay, and they had these ideas that, rags to riches, like not the American dream, but that's what we thought about it when the Industrial Revolution came to us. But basically, at this time, the middle class families are living in really nice homes on paved sidewalks, wearing nice clothing, raising their children. Whereas, the wealthy had people take care of their kids for them, right? Um, we're going to see the emergence of labor unions where workers can actually begin to go on strike for their wages and things like that. So we're going to see the emergence of labor unions. It's like workers organizations, right? There are teacher unions. You hear of unions for like carpentry, electricity, things like that. Um, you know, the labor unions were important because then people start to really fight. People are fighting against the working conditions because people are dying. Children, they were perfect for jobs in factories because their tiny little hands could fit in the machines to fix them. That's why they loved having children in the factory. Miners are having really bad conditions. Miners face bad conditions. Children work. Basically, good stuff was that new technology was invented. We see a rise in the middle class. However, we're also going to see bad things happen, like children getting hurt in factories and things like that. Okay, so that was the Industrial Revolution. We're going to be continuing looking in this kind of way, but we're going to be looking at new ways of thinking. New ways of thinking as a result of the Industrial Revolution in Great Britain. So some of these new ways of thinking, okay, some of these new ways of thinking come from different thinkers like Thomas Malthus, Karl Marx, okay? So first of all, we're going to be looking at something called laissez-faire economics. You'll be learning about all this next year. Laissez-faire means hands off. All right, so that's exactly what it means. Laissez-faire means hands off, and it's talking about the operation of the economy. Should the government own everything going on in the economy, right? Laissez-faire says, hey, government, back off. We can run this the way that we want, and that way we can make all the money and not pay much money to the government. But hey, keep your hands off of what we're doing, okay? And let us have a free market. So basically, hands off means that the government should not interfere with the economy. Okay, and that was an idea during the Enlightenment that came about. Thinkers of this were, Adam Smith. How about I just do this? Hold on one second. Don't worry about that. Thinkers were Thomas Malthus, Adam Smith. These guys believed in the hands-off approach. Let's see. So then we have utilitarians, okay? All right, so the utilitarians wanted to support limited government. With the utilitarians, and this is all in your textbook, we're going to see Jeremy Bentham. He advocates for utilitarianism. Utilitarianism is the idea, okay, that society's goal should be that everybody's happy, right? So, oh wait, where am I? So the idea that the goal of society should be greatest happiness for the greatest number of its people. Okay? Utilitarianism. Utility is happiness, how much happiness you can get from, you know, let's say, so the utility of eating one slice of pizza, right, on a Friday, maximum happiness. The second slice makes you really happy too, but not as happy as the first slice. And by the third slice of pizza, you're like, all right, I'm done, right? Utility decreases as you eat more and more pizza. Think of it that way. Okay? So everyone's actions should be judged by their utility. Does it provide more happiness than it does pain? People should be free individually so that they can determine their own happiness. Individual freedom, right? That is such a big goal here because before, under these, under these totalitarian kings and under these absolute monarchs, we didn't really have any individual freedom. So now, the increase of the middle class, individual freedoms, everybody thinks to themselves, I should be living a life that makes me happy. Okay. However, at this point, we're seeing that the industrial age is really dirty. And that's pretty much why the labor unions break out. Let's see. So, while people are saying, Lacey's fair, utilitarianism, things that make you happy, individual rights. Other people are saying, heck no. People are saying, heck no. Oh, I don't want that one. I want this one. People are saying, heck no. We're going to see socialism come into play. Okay? So socialism is the complete opposite of Lacey's fair. You guys have probably heard about socialism in the news, but you probably don't really know what it means. So I'm gonna let you know. All right, and we're gonna be learning about this a lot next year with government too. So with socialism, you should think that in your head, government owned. Okay? You should think government owned. Now, it's an economic system. So it's a system. Oops. It is a system where people as a whole own all the property rather than private individuals. So basically, you can look at it two ways. You can look at it as, socialism, right? Oh, this is such a bad idea. The people should get to choose. Another way you can look at it as, well, if you elect all of your people that are in government, then technically you're indirectly also controlling the business. Okay? So people as a whole, that means that everybody, gets the same benefit of the land. Everybody gets the same, okay? Not one person. There's no 1% of the nation owning all of the wealth. Everybody owns the wealth, okay? So that gets pretty interesting. That can get a little wild, but so does capitalism, because with capitalism, girls, we think that capitalism, what drives our nation today, we think that that's, perfect, but it's not, because even in the United States, an advanced developed country, we have a pretty substantial homeless population, right? We have a 1% that will never have to work another day in their lives. Then we have people who are constantly working to provide for themselves and their family. Whereas with socialism, that's not really a problem. Let's see. Hold on a second. You'll be watching a John Green film for that after you read your textbook pages that we're kind of going over right now. Um, so that's pretty much what we see. And when we talk about operating businesses, we're talking about means of production. So, means of production is how stuff gets made. Um, this is the farms. Okay. This is factories, canals, railroads, anything you could think of that contributes to how goods are distributed. Okay. So in socialism, the people as a whole, the people as a whole will control the means of production instead of individuals. Okay. Um, one of these thinkers was Karl Marx. Karl Marx was a German philosopher. He was a German philosopher, and he wrote the Communist Manifesto. Um, and you know, he took it even further. He took it even further. He believed that the social classes would fight against one another, and then this would lead to there being no social class. And then um, he pretty much says that economics are the driving force in history, and that the history of class struggles, the people who are super, super rich and the people who aren't rich, this creates an embedded hatred between the two of them. Um, he describes these classes as being the end of society. And he thought that the workers of all countries should unite against the government and pretty much, eradicate the social class system. Um, and that's pretty much what we see. That's pretty much what we see with communism and capitalism. Okay, so you're going to do a worksheet and watch a. You're going to do a worksheet and you're going to watch a short John Green video today, and then um, you're going to submit that for homework for tonight. Okay, girls? Let me know if you have any questions. This is really just getting us ready to move forward into World War One. Okay, so this is really just getting us to move forward into that direction with imperialism, which will be really exciting. So please let me know if you're confused, if there's anything I can do to help you. And we're going to submit those worksheets and we're going to go over them next time. I'm going to set up Zooms meetings. I'm going to give you girls back your rough drafts and we're going to go over a Zoom, and pretty much your rough draft should be done. Your paper should almost be like ready to go because you did do the rough draft. You and I individually, students, will look at your paper and I will give you any last, critiques, any last guidance, and then you'll fix it on up and you'll submit it, and I'll let you know when that date is, okay? Because I don't want to overwhelm you. So good job. Let me know if you need anything. And enjoy the rest of your day. Oops.